Hey everyone, it's Jason, and welcome to Power Rangers, the deck building game. It's Morphin Time expansion. So this is a really fun and interesting one. So what this is heading kind of back into the Mighty Morphin era, because we're getting the secondary team of Rangers. Because we had the originals, Zach, Jason, Trini, and Kimberly, and they're being swapped out, of course, for our new group, which was Kat, Adam, Aisha, and Rocky. But then we're also getting a secondary Green Ranger, which is from the comic books, which is Matt Cook, who's replacing, eventually became the Green Ranger. So it's fun that we're getting a little bit of combination of those. You see a lot of new Zords in there. We have some new enemies, some back from later seasons of the Mighty Morphin, as well as we have Cyclopsis. So it's a new mode to play in. So we're getting new Rangers, new modes, bunch of Zords. Kind of trying to wrap up the Mighty Morphin era of the deck building game, because we already had the base one, now we have the secondary one. We've done Zeo, and then we have like S.P.D. and Hyperforce and stuff like that. We have some other teams there. So yeah, we're kind of getting into like wrapping some of them up. So there's some really cool stuff in here. Like all this stuff, it does require one of the base games, either the regular base game or the Zeo Stronger Than Before base game. Yeah, we're getting a bunch of stuff. So, Cyclopsis attacks. A relic of a millennia ago, Cyclopsis is a tool of war created by Rita and rebuilt by Lokar for one purpose: to destroy the Rangers. This Warzord is piloted by Goldar and serves as the flagship of Rita's army and rallies her forces to battle the Rangers. But as evil masters gather, Rangers are able to meet force with force, bringing more Zords into combat their foes. Will the combination of Cyclopsis and the Masters overwhelm the Rangers, or will the presence of additional Zords tip the scale in the favor of good? So what you can do is you can mix this. Basically, you pick this up, you mix it in with a regular base set, and then you can play it. But then you can also start mixing and matching stuff with other expansions and doing whatever you want, which is really fun. So we already read that, so we got a bunch of stuff there. So we're going to kind of just go through some of the new concepts before we look at the card. So it's not a standalone game, you need to pair with another thing. So we just mix it in with the main deck into the modified main deck, which modified means these are base games. You should have 2 copies of everything, so you take out 1 additional copy of the hero, the villain cards and stuff like that, so there's only 1 each. But it says, when playing the Morphin Time, cards place the Cyclopsis face up near the villain players. Then select the oversized villain card that is not being used in this game and place the empowered side near Cyclopsis and place the pilot token on it. This villain must have energy payment ability on their empowered side. And then place two layers in the villain area and place 2 Zord Bait tiles. So this is kind of neat. We're utilizing some of the extra mechanics. After all players have claimed their personal Zords and Masters, construct the Zord Masters deck. Each should have 10 to 12 cards for getting to use a lot more of everything. I just recommend using stuff from this set to begin with. So the new concept is Cyclopsis. So the empowered villain, the pilot token represents the villain who is piloting Cyclopsis. The villain players may use both the pilot's energy payment ability as with their own, as long as they are on their own empowered side. They may also use their own empowered ability as normal. Each of Cyclopsis' edges functions similar to that of an oversized character. Cards of any type may be attached to any edge, and either a villain player may attach cards of Cyclopsis on their turn. So when you're playing with the multiple people, or 2 players are playing with the player that's playing the Masters, can basically choose to do their own stuff, or they can attach stuff to Cyclopsis, treat it as an additional villain. This is some extra words. I'm not going to go over every single little thing here. So while Cyclopsis play has energy payment ability, similar to most Rangers and empowered abilities, can be plagued by the active player. Even Ranger players, like most abilities, each player may only use his ability once per turn. Whenever a Ranger summon a new Megazord, including upgrading a Megazord, take 1 damage token from that Zord Bay and place it on one of the edges. The edges contain damage tokens can only be used, and the rest of the game, if any Cards are attached to the edge are discarded. So basically, you're trying to place damage counters to destroy them by summoning Megazords to attack them. But since there's only 2 damage tokens per bay, that means one bay can do it twice, the other bay can do it twice. So you gotta kind of spread those around. With 2 Zord bays and layers. When a Zord is summoned, the player gaining that card may decide which Zord bay to attach it to. Each Zord bay only counts as an interaction Zords attached to the bay itself and not the other Zord bay. So for example, the first bay allows 3 activations per turn and the second allows 4. You can activate a total of 7 Zords. Kind of neat. And the Masters, using the Megazord at one bay would only ready the Zords attached to that bay and not the other one. And then when Masters Dane needs to be attached to a layer, it is attached to a layer to fewest Masters, with equal number of the villains to choose. Unlike Zord bays, layers do count the number of Masters attached to both layers, since the layers' effects are based on the Masters you control, both villains, players now Masters in both layers. So the Zord bays, basically you get a chance to kind of like build your own team. So like for example, this contains the Thunder Zords. You can have the Thunder Zords in one bay, and you can have like the Shogun Zords in the other bay, right? And you could be trying to make those 2 different Megazords. But like whichever side you put them on, they're only going to be able to work with whatever's in that current bay and affect the cards in that bay. The Masters, though, are going to have 2 different abilities they're going to gain. So they're going to be not only doubling their... They're not going to have any more necessarily Masters than they would before because they're just splitting one to the other. But they're going to get double effects for them as well. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Alright, then we have Zord and Master customization. When building the Zord Master decks from its Morphin Time, you use Zord Masters from the core set and arena set you fill with the stack. For Masters, use the unused Masters from the set, setting up Masters from the other sets to build a 10 to 20 card Master deck. So, example, if I'm playing a 2 players as Masters, like a 2v2 game, I select the 2 from this, and then I would take the other, 5 guys, I'd take the other 3 guys, and then I would take the rest from the other base set and try and make a 10 card deck. For Zords, it comes in a set of 3 Zords, Thunder Zords, Ninja Zords, and Shogun Zords, along with their associated Megazords. So recommends using a personal Zords for their Rangers. So if you're playing, pink, blue, yellow, or pink, red, black, and yellow, for example, you're playing 2, so you pick pink and yellow, pick your Zords, then fill it out with the same Zord from that stack, and then use the rest. But you can start mixing and matching them all how you would like, which is really fun. New concept are Ultra Zords. New type of Megazord that can be used as a file combination of Zords. They require at least 6 attached Zords and an attached carrier Zord. It carries a new type of Zord found on 2 Zords, Tor the Shell Zord, and Titanus. Like other Megazord requirements, you only summon Ultra Zord with the carriers there, and they can be removed and added on as need be. Maybe using the Ultra Zord with the Core Zord, treat the sides of the Megazord that require 3 and 5 attached Zords, respectively, instead of their printed values. We also have the attachment keyword, which I think we've seen before, but we'll read it again. Several cards use the attachment keyword introduced in previous expansion, which means this card text is active while is attached to your character. There is typically no cost to activate these cards, but the text will tell you when to apply the effects. Often triggers start your turn, or when certain events occur, such as take multiple effects, such they can affect multiple times during a single turn. They're not exhausting their ability to trigger, so you may detach them during your turn after the effect is resolved and replace them. Cool. Just using these cards with other sets, you can mix them in with Core, Zeal, Omega Forever, RPM, High Flyer, S.P.D, and Shattered Grid, or any other future expansions. You choose to use Cyclopsis, uses the larger Master and Zord stacks, as well as 2 Zord bays and layers. Zord bays and layers can be used in the game using any set placed about a Zord bay. Just cool. Try to keep your cards about 70, just kind of. It does mention here, though, keep in mind that some card effects will be less useful when not playing with the other expansions, such as cards referring to the Containment or Liberation in the S.P.D expansion. So, because you're not also including those things in here, typically, they're not going to do it. You could try and include all that different stuff, but they're just going to be harder to do stuff. So, card specifications, I'm not going to go through all of these, because they're just different stuff. for specific characters, we just reference them if we need to. But yeah, that's who we have there. Here's all the awesome people that worked on the game. We always like to try and always show off the credits for this. Yes, that's what we have. I like to just hop into it. The other thing we're going to do at the end of the video is go over bonus pack 6. Now, normally, I just want to point this out. So, normally, it's just the foil versions of the cards. But this also includes some dividers. So, we'll definitely take a look at that if you want to see what those are at the end. But I want to hop into some of the cards. But before we do that, first thing I want to do is we have some tokens and stuff to look at. So, we're going to drop our camera back down. We have a new Zord base. This is kind of fun because you need 2 Zord bases to play this game. So if you only have 1 core set, it means you would only have 1 Zord base. This includes a second one. Now, if you have all 3 base names, you're going to have 3 different options. It gives you a little bit of option. So I kind of hope they, at some point, either just release extra Zord base once in a while, or come out with another core set at some point. Like we've had... First one came out, a couple of sets, then Zeo came out, then we've had a couple other different expansions that kind of expand Zords. We had Shattered Grid, which expanded another playing mode. So it'd be kind of neat if we had another core set come out for like maybe like Time Force or something, might be kind of neat. Or if we want to jump into one of the later series, heading, I don't know, like head into like the Disney stuff with like Ninja Storm or Dino Thunder might be kind of cool if we want to kind of keep some of the tie-ins in there. It'd be neat to just do another one, then we get another Zord Bay, which would be kind of cool. Yeah, so this one is going to say, pay 3, ready 1 exhausted Zord, draw 1 card, use only this ability if your character is a ranger. So you can't use this as a teen. End of the video, I will kind of show this off to compare it to the other ones, but I don't want to do it during this, just for the fact that I want to confuse people. Then we are also going to get our new layer. So our new layer is when you attach to a master to the layer, draw cards equal to half the number of masters you control rounded up. Just playing a regular 2-player game with this, I love that these can be mixed with the Cyclopsis or by themselves. But yeah, so this is kind of neat. So you add this in there and then you can gain some extra cards. So the other 4 tokens we get are for the Cyclopsis mode. We have our 4 damage tokens and our pilot token. And just the pilot token is just so you know which character is supposed to be on there so you don't all of a sudden get them confused. Awesome. So before we actually hop into our Rangers, we're going to look at Cyclopsis quick. So this is damaged version of Cyclopsis. I love this. This is the same art from Heroes of the Grid. So it's really neat they reused that. So yeah, he's an oversized card. So here's one of our regular oversized cards. So regular card, oversized card, mega oversized card. So Cyclopsis is listed as a Warzord. Does not have multiple sides, but he has at the top it says once per turn when you attach a card here, gain 2 energy. This says is once per turn when you attach a card here, heal for 3. Once per turn when you attach a card here, attack, deal 3 damage. And at the bottom it says plus 1 damage to each attack. Plus 1 damage to each attack attached here. So the active player can pay for it to reduce the cost of your next Zord or Master you buy by 3. Kind of neat. It works for everybody. She's kind of just out there. Okay, beat the crap out of Titanus there. It says, while you are on your empowered side, you may use your pilot's payment ability. Minus 1 energy per damage token on Cyclopsis. So as he becomes more damage, you can pay for their ability cheaper. So yeah, if you throw like Goldar on here, you can then, once your villain becomes empowered, you can start also using his ability as well. So it gives you an additional master to play as, which is kind of cool. Alright, then let's look at some Rangers. So we are going to start with our teenagers. Our teenagers with attitude. Cat Hillard, or Catherine. Who has maneuvers, heroes, and some equipment. It says, of course, all of them are say when all 4 slots are filled, attach your Zord to the Zord and bait and flip this card. So you may buy villains from the grid. When you do, draw 1 card. Interesting. So she's going to be able to purchase villains, but she doesn't have a villain on her outside. And when she morphs, she's going to become Mighty Morphin Pink, of course. -2 to activate attached cards, and pay 5 for each villain you control. Draw 1 card and deal 1 damage. Neat. So she gets to play cards, but she doesn't actually attach them. Awesome. So let's look at our next one. We have Adam Park. So maneuvers, heroes, and equipment. Some a little bit more maneuvers. When you attach a maneuver, attack target foe discards a card. Cool. You hurt your opponent's hand a little bit. And when he becomes the Black Ranger, he has 4, swap 1 card from your hand with 1 card in your discard pile, then attack to deal 2 damage. That's kind of neat. So basically, I have a card that's not as useful. Now I can get a card I just played or used again. Then you also get an attack out of it. We have Aisha Campbell. At the end of your turn, if you have healed +2, you may destroy 1 card you control. Neat. So she has some hero cards as well as her big focus. But yeah, healing to help you like fix up your deck more. And when she becomes the Yellow Ranger, pay 4 to battle a villain in the grid at no cost, healing amount equal to its cost. That's neat. Usually the Yellow Ranger tends to be like the aggressive fighty character. Like the quick damage character, like I'm dealing with Heroes of the Grid version. So it's kind of neat to see like a healing character. I'll have to do a video at some point just comparing all these different colors and all the Red Rangers together and stuff as well. So we have Rocky DeSantos. When you attach an equipment or a heal, deal 1 damage. And when he morphs into the Red Ranger, pay 3. When you block, if you would discard a block card, place it on top of your deck instead and heal 2. You may use on any player's turn. Nice. So you gotta keep refreshing your blockers. So we have a healer, we have a blocker, heal, which also heals as well. We have one guy that's one person is going to be kind of manipulating hands a little bit, manipulating cards. And then the last one's actually going to be buying villains, which could limit what your opponent gets, right? You can buy some of their good cards. So it's kind of cool. So now we're missing is the Blue Ranger. We don't have one because when these Rangers all transitioned over to the second team of Mighty Morphin, Billy stayed the Blue Ranger. So they didn't make an additional Blue Ranger card. So instead we're going to get is from the comic books, we have Matthew Cook, who ended up being the second Green Ranger. So on foe gains Master, heal 2 whenever you play a maneuver, gaining energy. Interesting. So yeah, it's going to help the foe gains and Masters, yeah. Not going to help as quick, but it's definitely good. He has some maneuvers. But when we flip him over, just a slightly different design to Green Ranger costume. Pay 5, attack, deal 2 damage, +1 for each master attached to the layers. Yeah, so he's kind of more aggressively going after the masters. This is a neat little combination as well. Alright, so let's look at their signature weapons before we hop into the masters. So we have for the Pink Ranger, we have a Battle Bow. Now, what's neat about these is because it's just pink. So you can actually use this with this Pink Ranger cat, or you can use a Kimberly Hart, or any other technically Pink Ranger. But if you want to stick with the Mighty Morphin theme, you can always swap these with the core deck characters, or vice versa. So it says, pay 4, attack. Each bow places 1 master attached to their character on top of their deck, or each bow who cannot deal 2 damage. Nice. So kind of again attacking the foe type of thing. For the Black Ranger, we have the Cosmic Cannon. I love that when he uses his axe as the cannon, which is a neat design. Attack target foe, discards 1 attached card with a cost of +4. Yellow Ranger has the Dino Daggers. Attack, deal 1 damage to each different card type attached to your character. Healing amount equal. Then discard this card. Interesting. So, if we go back to hers, she has 3 different card types as well. So, that's kind of neat. That does help her, right? She can do potentially up to 3 different types, unless you have a way of attaching like a villain as well, which there are cards that do that. For the Red Ranger, we have his Power Sword. Attack, deal damage equal to the cost of the hero you control. Nice, so it's going to get more powerful over time. And then Green Ranger gets Dragon Dagger version 2. Put a maneuver from your discard pile into your hand and heal 2. Nice. So he also gained from his regular one, he got energy from playing maneuvers, so he's going to be buying them when he gets his equipment. He's going to be able to definitely boost up and keep healing himself. That's pretty fun. Pretty interesting cards. Alright, then we're going to get to our villains. So we have Master Vital, who is scheming. Get all Force Watcher, fill, draw one card, flip this card, of course. And you attach the Master to the bottom. When a foe plays +5 energy, draw a card. Interesting. So, pays +5 energy. So after they pay 5, you get a card. So he's going to penalize your opponents for playing a lot of high cost. Then when he empowers, he has pay 3 to attack, deal 1 damage, +1 for every 2 less energy the heroes have than you. Okay, so cool. So the first one's like they spend their energy, get a bonus. Here's kind of like if they spend all their energy, you get to do more damage. It's going to penalize them again for spending energy. We have King Sphinx. When your opponent discards a card during your turn, heal 2 damage. Interesting. It's a neat way to heal. When he empowers and goes on the attack, pay 5 to block, negate an attack, then attach a card in your discard pile to a maximum slot. Your character is only once per turn. Very defensive character. We have Silverback. When you battle a hero, target foe gains a stun. Nice. So if you defeat a hero, you're stunning their main characters as well. And then he switches over to pay 5 attack. Target foe gains 1 stun. Then deal 2 damage, +1 for each stun in their discard pile. Ooh, so his first ones are really going to hurt. Then we have a neat one that came up, because we haven't had these guys as villains yet. So we have the Green Psycho Ranger. So, lore-wise, this ties in to the second Green Ranger. Kind of. Because, so a little bit of history on this, just kind of it. So we'll get to the cards. There's actually cards for one of these characters. We've had Grace Sterling in a previous set, and we have another version in this one. She was one of the original Rangers that Zordon had in 1969, I believe. Who basically came to the moon to fight the Psycho Green Ranger. He basically killed all of them except for, I think, Grace and one other guy. Killed 3 of the Rangers. Then basically Zordon's like, nope, you guys can't be Rangers anymore. While a lot of years pass by, then Grace is trying to do stuff because she knows there's threats now. So she's trying to do something. She eventually gets Matthew Cook and turns him into the Green Ranger. Roundabout way, just there. So that's how he kind of ties into that. So eventually we might actually get a set where we have the Space Rangers, and we actually get to fight the Psycho Rangers too. It might be kind of a fun set as well. You may buy heroes from the grid. You may attach heroes to the villain slot on your character. Cool, so kind of like Cat, so he can actually attach them. Then whenever these guys transform, they become monstrous forms. So he becomes like a goblin-y type looking guy. You may buy heroes from the grid. You may attach heroes to the villain slot in your character. Pay 3 attack, deal 3 damage for each hero attached to your character. This is also cool because so far the only character of all of these that has kept their front ability on their backside. Then the last big hero we get Tommy Oliver. We have a Green Ranger. Why not have the evil Green Ranger? So this is back when he was first introduced. When you're playing equipment, discard the top card from your deck and deal 2 damage, +2 if this discard card was not a starter. Interesting. So it doesn't, you're not sure about it. So Here's also something else. All these guys are, he attacks the card. He attaches the Dragon Zord to the bottom, not his regular card. So he has a different master card, which we'll get into. But then, of course, then he empowers to the Evil Green Ranger. So he has the Sword of Darkness as well. Pay 4 attack, deal 1 damage, +1 for each Zord attached to the Zord base. So he's kind of targeting the Zord, which is kind of a neat thing. Especially a game like this where you're going to have multiple Zords going on. Let's look at their signature weapons. So Master Vile gets his walking stick. Attack, deal 5 damage, -1 for every 5 energy the heroes have. So basically, if they have more energy, his attack is weakened. So that fits in with his. The Sphinx Scepter for King Sphinx. Target foe discards 2 cards attached to their character. If they have none, deal 2 damage instead, and then discard this card. So he's got a healing and a blocking ability, and then this kind of like messes with their hands. It kind of hits all around, which is very interesting. Silverback has Silverback Sword. Attack, deal 2 damage. Attack, target foe gains 2 stuns, then discards this card. So he's still playing with his stuns. The Psycho Green has Psycho Dagger. Discard a hero you control and the main deck to the main deck and discard discard 1 hero you control to the main deck, discard, and then gain its battle reward. Then attack. Deal damage equal to its cost, then discard this. Okay, cool. So he buys heroes, equips them to himself, then he uses his dagger to now get rid of them, gaining their reward as if he beat them. And then he does damage equal to their cost. So that's kind of fun. And then for Evil Green, we have the Sword of Darkness and the Dragon Dagger. Ready and activate the ability of any standard Zord in play or on top of the Zord stack at no cost. So basically you can kind of control the Zords. That's really fun. Alright, so we do have the Masters and the Zord cards we're going to look at, but we're going to go through the base set first, the main deck cards. So there's only 1 copy of each of these, but we're going to start with Lady Fiona. She has the Dragon Shield. Isn't that interesting, right? So she has, I mean, I'm not going to read the bottom effect down there, you can just kind of read that, but he does have, pay 4, you may discard 1 card, then if he did, draw 2 cards. Cool, so get rid of 1 for potentially 2 more. We have Saba, the White Ranger's sword. Ready 1 exhausted Zord, then draw a card. I like the bomb though. You may use any master's triggered ability. So kind of like where the Green Ranger was able to, like, the Evil Green was able to control the Zords. With Saba, you can do the opposite and use the master's abilities. So that's kind of fun as well. So here's Grace when she's the Red Ranger. So she was the first Red Ranger, you know, in the comic books then. Although there's always someone that came before and someone that came before. She's the first one on Earth, though, and she's also the first female one. It's kind of interesting. Attack, deal 2 damage, then gain 1 battle reward of a hero you control. And she has a healing effect. I do like this restart. We got a couple of these in one of the previous sets. We're getting some unmorphed versions of the characters. Kind of makes sense, because like these guys aren't... So if I'm playing as Cat, Kimberly can still be around. So if you don't want to like canonically make it, you can pull the other Pink Ranger out of the deck and have her instead. So she has block, negating attack, draw 1 card, then discard this card. We have the Hyperforce Green Ranger. We've already had every other Green Ranger. Why not add the Hyperforce one? Pay 7, attack, deal 1 damage, then attack for 2, and then attack for 3. Uses his, I forgot what they're called. They're like whip swords. I know that like Ivy from Soul Calibur uses them, but I know they have an actual name. I just can't think of them. We have a Hyperforce Blue Ranger to add in, because we had some Hyperforce in a previous set, so now we're adding the rest of the team. He says block, negating attack, gain equipment from the grid. If there are none, the attacker gains 1 stun instead, then discard this card. And then we'll round it out with Hyperforce Red. who has attack, deal 2 damage, then you may discard 1 card. If you do, gain 2 energy or attack for an additional 2 damage. That's kind of neat. So basically you can get 2 of your energy back, or you can do a secondary attack. That's kind of fun. Then a new set, we have the White Aquatar Rangers. So the Aquatar Rangers, of course, took over between, I believe, the end of Mighty Morphin and before Zeo, when all the Rangers got turned to kids. So these guys are Alien Rangers. They also known as the Alien Rangers. They came over. So it's kind of neat. We got this. The leader of the team is the female White Ranger. This is kind of a different switch from everything. Attach. When one of your attacks is negated, deal 1 damage. That's cool. So you attach your card, you can do that. And then we have the regular White Ranger. So you have Tommy as evil, but also the good version. Attach at the start of your turn. Gain 2. If you still have less than 10 energy, gain an additional 3 energy. Wow. So he's gonna really make Master Vile not like him. That's kind of fun too. Alright, what do we have for some villains? We're gonna get the Tenga Warriors. Who have attack, deal 2 damage, target foe discards a card. Always hurts to discard. Pandemonium. Negating attack. If the attacker discards 1 attached card, then discard this card. So basically they can make him get rid of it by getting rid of one of their cards. Good old Eye Guy. Attacks, your foes must play with their hands revealed. Oh. I keep always saying every time I see this, I'm like, I'm not really a fan of hand revealed stuff, but like forcing everyone to have to always have their hand revealed is different than just looking at someone's hand. Like, if I just have to look at it, I'm probably not gonna remember. But if it's always available, I can see what they have coming. I know what I can deal with. That's kind of crazy. Lord Zed made some Chaos Putties, infused them with some green energy, I believe. Made them a little bit more, definitely harder than the Super Putties. Block, negating attack. Then the attacker discards 1 random card. Oh, random sucks. If they have none, or if they discard a starter, gain 2, then discard this card. Another classic monster, Prontus Head. Attached. Only 1 Zord may be activated per turn. This may be baggled while attached. If it is, place it in your discard pile. Interesting. So yeah, he's gonna shut down your Zords. We have Rito Revolto, Rito's brother. Attack, deal 6 damage, then lose 2 HP and discard this card. So a little bit more powerful at a disadvantage. We have Thrax, the son of Zed and Rita. Attack, deal 1 damage to target foe for each empty slot on their character. And then attack, target foe gains 1 stun and then discard this card. Lokar the Terrible, who made Cyclopsis. Activate the triggered effect of any master in play, even if it's already been triggered this turn. Ooh, that's mean. And then lastly, another classic villain, Scorpina. Activate up to 2 maneuvers in play or in the grid at no cost, as if you controlled them, then discard this card. Nice. That's kind of neat. Really neat. These are all very different effects. Alright, let's jump into our next set. We have some equipment. We have the Mirror Shield. I love this. At one point, they gave a bunch of the Rangers like secondary equipment, and this was abilities. You could create a big shield that could open up to be a mirror. I don't remember what all of them are, but they had some interesting ones like that they did. Just block, negating attack, the attacker gains 1 stun, and then discard this card. The metallic armor, which is really fun. They could, like, the first kind of, like, super version of a character, like all the new sets, all the new movies, all the new TV series have, like, super versions, like Super Megaforce, Super Dino Charger, Super Ninja. This is like the first version of that, which came way back in Mighty Morphin. They powered up to like metallic versions. Each time you take damage from an adversary in the grid, reduce that damage by 1. This was kind of cool too. This was sort of like also from the comic books. So at one point, Kimberly had to form a new team of Rangers. So they got like some different slight different alternate costumes. Which are kind of like more white, a little bit different white and black patterns on them, which are kind of cool. Wish I had a better picture of it. I haven't read all the comics. I've read enough, and I've read snippets here and there, so I don't have all the exact details. But heal 4. Then you may attach a card in your hand or discard pile to a matching slot on your or your teammate's character. Nice. That's cool. The Lunar Defense Battery. So I think this is what the 69 Rangers set up to fight against the Psycho Green, but it didn't work very well. Attach target foe deattaches one master Zord they control and places on the bottom of their deck, then discard this card. And then we have the Power Cannon. Big, giant, massive gun. Attack, deal 4 damage, target foe gains 2 stuns, and discard this card. We have some maneuvers. We have a quick kick. Attack, deal 2 damage. If they activate from your hand, pay 2 energy and discard this card. Interesting. So, deal 2 damage. If it's activated from your hand, pay 2 additional energy and discard this card. So, yeah, you can pay it quicker. If you want to pay it from your hand, you can pay 4 instead. Just be able to jump this out quicker rather than waiting until it's attached. That's neat. We have the Leaping Strike. Attack, deal 3 damage, or block, negate an attack, then deal 2 damage, and discard this card. Acrobatics, getting all kind of maneuvers here. Block, negate an attack, you may look at the top card of your deck and swap it with a card in your hand, and then discard this card. So there's 3 like Ranger ones, and we get some villain themed ones, but again, they can be used by anybody. So we have Surround. Attacks. When a foe performs a block against your attack, they must pay an additional 2 energy. Then we have Devastating Blow. This is the Black Ranger Adam went to help the Overdrive Rangers, if I remember right. So he gets their Overdrive Power Armor. So it's neat because it's one of a Ranger from a different series using a Battleizer from that series. Attack. Target foe discards their hand and draws 3 cards, gains 1 stun, then discard this card. Nice. Instead of doing damage, it's just ruining their turn. That's pretty cool. Alright, then we have 4 locations. We have the Power Plant. I love some of these classic locations. Ongoing, when you gain a Zord or a Master, gain 4 energies. Angel Grove Park. When you play or battle a hero, deal 1 damage. The Dark Dimension, which is where Golgar fought a lot of people. There's the Green Candle, where Tommy fought Jason a lot in this area. When you battle cards under this during your turn, pay 3. If there are no cards under this, place 1 adversary in the grid under this. Okay, cool. So you may battle cards under this during your turn. If there are no cards, place 1 adversary under the grid. Cool. You can pay to pull a guy out and then take him out. And then the Stone Quarry. Ongoing, when you play or battle a villain, deal 1 damage. So you have the 2 that work kind of the same way. 1 for heroes, 1 for villains. And we have 1 for gaining stuff, and then 1 a little bit different. Dark Dimension. You may battle cards under this during your turn. Pay 3. If there are no cards under this, place 1 adversary in the grid under this. Interesting. I just want to see if they have any specific rules for that 1 card. They might not. That's a little bit odd. No, nothing special for that. So I'm just like looking into that probably a little bit harder than I need to be looking into it. Alright, so that was all of the main deck cards. So then we have our Masters and our Zords and our Megazords. So we want to jump in and look at those guys. So we're going to start with the Masters. There's a lot of Zords, so I kind of want to save them till the end. So we have our new Masters we can pick up. Of course, and they all cost 7 with the little asterisk by them. -2 if your teammate controls their Master. So Master Vial is ongoing. When a foe activates an ability requiring +2 energy, they must pay an additional energy. He's really manipulating that energy amount. King Sphinx has ongoing. When a foe gains a Zord attack, target foe discards 1 attack card. Silverback, ongoing. When a foe gains a stun, deal 2 damage. So like everyone else kind of the same thing. King Sphinx just does everything different. He's just all around on everything. Psycho Green Ranger, ongoing. When you play, activate, or battle a hero, heal 1. Nice. Then the one that's different is we have the Dragon Zord, who's actually a Master Zord. Attack, deal 5 damage. If negated, discard this card. At the start of your turn, this is not ready unless you pay 2. This kind of makes it work like your other Zords. You have to actually pay for them. So I did want to kind of hop back into the rules here, because we have some rules for this. Unlike many Masters, this is not an activated effect. This is an activated effect that is not that functions like a Zord. It does not ready automatically like most cards after being exhausted. Instead, at the start of your turn, you must pay 2 to ready it. It is considered a Zord for cards affected. Zords can be used on it. For example, the villain somehow gains Saba, such as with Psycho Green Ranger's ability. The Dragon Zord or Zord can be ready with Saba's effect. So if anything affects a Zord, it also affects us. So it's kind of a neat idea, because there's not a lot of villains that have Zords, but it is neat that we have that as a mechanic now to be able to be used. Alright, so let's look at our Ranger Zords. Once we're talking about Zords, we're going to start with the Thunder Zords. So yeah, canonically after the Power Rangers, at one point there, when Rito came in, I believe it was Rito came in, he destroyed the original Dino Zords, and they all upgraded to the legendary Thunder Zords. So then we got Firebird Thunder Zord for the Pink Ranger. Attack. Target foe reveals their hand, deals damage equal to the number of different starters they revealed. The Black Lion Thunder Zord. Discard 1 card and deal 1 damage equal to its cost. If negated, that foe gains 1 stun. The Griffin Thunder Zord for yellow. Heal 2, then attack. Deal 2 damage. The Red Dragon Thunder Zord. Attack, deal 2 damage. +2 if you control 2 or more heroes. +2 if you control 2 or more equipment. And then the Unicorn Thunder Zord for blue. Block, negating attack, place 1 card on your discard pile on top of your deck. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. So now we don't have a Blue Ranger in this set, but if you're mixing with one of the other characters, you want to add Billy in there from the base game. He has his Zord already ready. But you also notice there's no Green Ranger Zord in here, so if you're playing with the Thunder Zords, if you're using the base set again, you can use the Dragon Zord from that set, or you can just give him one of the other colored Zords. So then after they became Ninja Rangers, we got the Ninja Zords. Red Ape Ninja Zord. It says attack, deal damage equal to the cost of equipment you control. Cool. The Blue Wolf Zord, or Blue Wolf Ninja Zord. Attack, deal 2 damage, target foe gains 1 stun. The Black Frog Ninja Zord. Return a card from your discard pile. That card costs 4 or less to your hand. Heal equal to that amount. The Pink Crane Ninja Zord. Which is it's the head. Attack. Each foe discards a card. Deal 2 damage for each starter. Your foes discard this way. The Yellow Bear Ninja Zord. Block, negating attack. Heal 2 if you have 15 or fewer HP. Heal 4 instead. That's kind of neat. So you get another healing effect. And then the last one we have is the White Ninja Falcon Zord. Attack, deal 2 damage, then gain 2 for each card with a cost of 5 plus attach your character. If you gain +6, discard this card. Cool. Then eventually, they ended up having to upgrade even farther. So the Ninja Zords became the Shogun Zords. We have the white Shogun Zord. This one's kind of interesting because it's pink or white. Because they only had 5 Zords for this. So they either pink or white. And it's also pink because I think when it fought by itself, it was white. But when it was on the Zord, it ended up being pink or having a pink arm. There's a thing with that. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, you know, let's just see it's kind of a morphed version of the bird. The Falcon Zord. It's kind of should probably read its effect. It says, block. Negate an attack. You may return 1 starter your discard pile to your hand. Plus 1 starter for each card at the cost of 5 plus attached to your character. The red Shogun Zord, which again kind of evolves from the ape. Attack, deal 1 damage for each hero and equipment in your discard pile. It goes 4 plus damage, discard this card. The black Shogun Zord, the frog. Deal damage equal to the number of different card types in your discard pile. Goes 4 damage, discard this card. It's kind of just the way like they make the discard just so you're not abusing these effects too much. The yellow Shogun Zord, which is the bear. Heal 3 if you have 15 or fewer HP. You may destroy 1 card you control. And then the blue one, which is a wolf. Attack, deal 2 damage, plus 1 for each stun in the target foe's discard pile. So these are all different Zords. So 3 different sets of Zords, which are really cool. Then we're going to get 2 other special Zords. We have Titanus, the Carrier Zords, who has Pay X attack. Deal damage equal to twice the energy paid to activate this card, max of 3. And then stacks with any non-carrier Zords. So we've seen the stacking before at the Omega Rangers cards. So these basically you can put them on the same spot as any Zord. Anyone can use these and recruit them, but basically gives you an additional ability to use as well. We also have Tor the Shuttle Zord. It says block, negating attack for the next 3 damage you take this turn. So we get those 2. Those are going to be very important for some of these upcoming cards. So we are going to get the Thunder Megazord. So it says attach for 3, activate for 3. Pay 3, ready all attacks Zords, then attack. Deal 2 damage to or each foe that controls your master discards 1 card. Then what's neat is just flip over. So we have the alternate side. We have the Mega Tiger Zord. So the White Ranger had his Tiger Zord, and you can attach the Thunder Zords to these guys. So you have like Phoenix there, and you have I think 2 are on the feet, and then you have the other one up there. I think the red one was by itself. The Red Dragon Zord became his own Zord. The lion's up at the top though. This says ready all attacks Zords, then attack. Deal 1 damage, repeat for each master attached to the layer. Now the only downside to having the double-sided cards would mean that you can't have both of them at the same time. So it might be a possible reason to buy a second copy of the set. Then we have the Thunder Ultra Zord. This is all the Zords just kind of hanging on top of Tor, but says requires a Carrier Zord as well. It doesn't have to be Tor, it can be Titanus as well, or any future ones, but it does require one. Ready all attack Zord and discard all villains in the grid. Then attack, deal 3 damage for each villain discarded. So these are all considered Ultra Zords, so they're a special type as well. Then we're going to jump to the Ninja Megazord. This is one of the clunkier looking Zords in my mind. Pay 6, ready all attack Zords, then draw 2 cards. Or we can flip over to the Ninja Mega Falcon Zord, where he gets the wings on him. I like the wings on the back, but I love the alternate version, where the wings come out between the arms and they act as like cannons. Ready all attacks Zords, then perform the attacks on 3 non-Zord cards controlled by Rangers at no cost. You know what we can also do is we can throw them guys on top of Titanus. Says Ninja Ultra Zord also has the Green Dragon Zord on there too, which is pretty cool. Ready all attacks Zords, then attack, deal 2 damage. You may discard up to 3 cards to perform this attack that many additional times. It kind of works with Titanus' ability to use X attack. So that's pretty cool. Again, requires the carrier. Then we have the Shogun Megazord. Pay 2, ready all attack Zords. This turn deal damage you would take from your adversaries in the grid to your foes instead. Ooh, that's kind of neat. And then they will flip over. So maybe this is what I'm thinking of where he gets his arm cannon. Maybe it wasn't the other one. But the Shogun Mega Falcon Zord. Pay 3, ready all attack Zords. Then attack, deal 2 damage, and attack, deal 2 additional damage. Then, of course, Titanus can jump out here and give us the Shogun Ultra Zord. Yeah, so there he has the pink arm now when he's in the Megazord form. Does he have it in this one? Yeah, see, this one's white. This one's white, and then this one's pink. So sometimes it was pink. That's why they did it that way. So I think there was something like they just didn't have the pink one all the time available, or I'm not sure. Pay 5, ready all attack Zords, deal 5 damage. Attack, discard 2 attached masters. Cool. And of course, the carrier Zord as well. So you get 3 different carrier Zords. Then the last one to kind of work with the original is we have Dino Ultra Megazord. So this works with the Dino Rangers. Or the Dino Rangers, the Dino Zords. Ready all attack Zords, then attack, deal 2 damage, +1 for each different card type you control. Now I love how all the rest of them are kind of just riding Titanus. You know, like these ones, but then this one, they actually have a chain around them like he's using it as a chariot. So that's kind of fun as well. But yes, we get 4 Ultra Zords in the game. Plus a bunch of regular Megazords, which are really cool. Alright, so the last thing we have for this box set is Shattered Grid cards. So there's added a way we could go to alternate things, use 2 different games at the same point, use expansions with there. So we have the Morphin Time, which you can get added in there. So if you're using it, it says when ongoing, when this grid enters play, draw an additional Zord and Master from this set. The cost to buy a secondary Grid Zord and Masters is reduced by 3. Yes, it just adds some extra additional characters in there. So that is pretty interesting there. Alright, so before we look at the bonus pack, I wanted to do was just compare the Zord bays really quick. So again, these aren't included in there, but this one lets us pay 3 to exhaust a Zord, draw 1 card, and then use only if the ability is available. If you have a Ranger. Compared to the base game one, which I like that they're different sizes, which is kind of weird. Pay 5 to ready all attack Zords. So this one lets you fix all your Zords. This one lets you ready 1 exhausted Zord, but lets you do some extra abilities. And then we had the one from Zeo, which says, pay 2 to destroy 1 card in your hand or discard pile to ready 1 attack Zord. So it costs less, but you only get 1 at a time. But it also has, when 3 Zords are attacked, exhaust all attached Zords and flip this card. So you have the option of flipping this. So you can use the red Battleizer Zord. Says, pay 1, ready 1 attack Zord, then destroy 1 card in your hand or discard pile for each ready Zord. So it's kind of neat. So we get an additional Zord to kind of use as well. So it does give us some different options there, which again, would definitely be cool if we had more of those. Then for our new layer here, we have, again, when you attach a master layer, draw cards equal to half the number of masters you control rounded up. Yeah, so if you draw extra cards, our base one says when you attach a master to the layer, attack, deal 1 damage. for each master you control, because this will be the second one you might use. Or if you use the Zeal one, it says when attached to a master, later heal 1 HP for each master you control. So this is cool because you could just use the 2 base ones. So every time you attack a master, you can heal 1 as well as deal 1 damage for everyone. Or you can have one you draw your cards, depending just kind of how you want to play the game. It's interesting though, again, same size, different thing. Keep changing these around every time. Alright, so the last thing we want to go through is the bonus pack number 6. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because what these are they're just foil versions of our oversized cards. Now, do you need extra copies of your cards? No. Are the foils, they're very interesting. Like, you can see how they foil just certain parts of the character. I just wish I've said this in multiple ways. I wish they didn't foil all of this. And if they just foiled these parts on the character, I think it would have looked better. If we flip them over to the other side, there's Master Vials. But they just foiled like his energy beams and stuff, and not foiled the rest of the outside, it would have stood out more. But yeah, so we just got foil versions of each of the masters. Each of the character cards, like his gold stuff is all kind of foily. Then because the background and stuff is also foil, it kind of just detracts from it. Yeah, not necessary to buy it for these unless you already did. Like with all the Watch of the Renegade stuff, Game Studio stuff, if you pre-ordered this, you would have gotten this for free. Otherwise, it's about a $5 pack. So if you don't really care for these, just pick them up, or if you want, you can pick them up later. But if you're gonna buy the game anyhow, you can pre-order it and get an extra free little booster pack. But so far, these have always just been foil versions of the character cards. So if you don't really care for foil, it's not really worth picking up. This might be the one exception. I like how the white on there is foiled. It's kind of cool. I'm going to show you the extra stuff. We have some dividers in here. There's Matt's, and there is his foil. Alright, so these are the foils. We do not get a foiled Cyclopsis, unfortunately, because he's too big. But what we are going to get is new deck dividers. So if you bought the storage box, which I did a video for as well, they added dividers in there for each set. So this is for your oversized character cards, so you can drop them in like that. And you can see, okay, these are my Morphin Time characters. So that's pretty cool. Then we get, and they're the same on both sides. You can have them either direction. We have one for signatures. And they're all going to be the same artwork. We have one for the Masters, Zords, or Megazord cards. One for your main deck cards. And then one for It's Morphin Time. If you just want to have the set itself be separate. And you're just like, I want to pick up It's Morphin Time and you want to play with It's Morphin Time. Here's all the cards for that. Otherwise, you can separate stuff out and be like, my main cards are in one spot. So I just want to add just the main deck. Your Zords are in another spot. Your signatures. So you can mix and match characters however you like. I'm going to grab the storage box and we're going to kind of take a look at that. So this is the storage box you can buy. And then it came with all the dividers. And then now I'm going to assume all future sets will come with the dividers like that. But I think they're going to come in the promo packs. Which I don't mind that as much. Because if you didn't buy this which is alternate, it's extra thing anyhow. It gives you, hey, I bought the box, I pre-ordered, I'm kind of everything, you can get all that stuff. But you can see like here, I already have my cards sleeved, I just sleeved everything in blue, but we have my core game stuff, so I'm showing that this is the core game right here, and then all this stuff here is main, signatures, Zords, blade blasters, so we know to find those, stuns, starter stuff, and I alternated them to the other side, which I really like. So here's all my Zeo, this is where Zeo starts. And I did, all the main cards, signatures, Zords. I had one extra divider in here I separated because these are the Zeo cards. I just wanted them a little bit separate, so I had one of the blank ones. I just put that in there. Stuns, my starters. And I put my Shattered Grid stuff on this side as well. just because they're they're kind of like mixed in with everything else. We have our main deck for that. We have our signatures, our Zords, our secondary grid cards. So these ones, when I did all these, so we have one for each different set. I will add in the other one, but these I have on I didn't put a special back on there, or a same colored back, but I'll add the Morphin Time one in there, so I can grab one of these, so you can add them into that as well. Then we have some promo cards, which were the original ones. When the first couple of booster packs came out, they also had a way to get like General Vengix and his Serpentina, as well as some other cards there. Plus we had the White Ranger, so we got his Zords. So we had those guys there as well. And I dropped this into the wrong spot. And then we have the solo deck, which came with the deck box. If you get the deck box, you can pick up the solo cards if you want to play that. So yes, I have all those sorted on there, and then the other side, we have the other sets. We have Omega, RPM, Flying Higher, S.P.D, and then we'll end up adding Morphin Time back over here on this side. And you already see, like, we're getting pretty darn full with this box. So I'm just going to drop all these in here quick. So this is not sleeved, of course, but if I throw these in here, I have enough room for probably like one more full set, maybe a little bit extra cards over here. Then this box is going to start getting pretty gersh full, again, because I have them sleeved. If you don't sleeve, you have a little bit of extra room. But then over here is we have our separate boxes in here. I don't know why I have an extra sleeve there. Is we have all our Ranger cards, or all our big cards. We have Core, Zeo, Forever. Each one separates its different one. S.P.D through Shattered Grid, plus our promo, which is of course our White Ranger and General Vengix. And then we'll add the Morphing Time in here, probably right before promos. So we can throw all those guys in there as well. Drop all them in there. So this is also getting a little bit full. But yeah, so this could be used a little bit taller, which would have been nice, but you can still tell pretty easily. We have one box there. Then, now technically I have all this extra room because this second box here is just all my foil cards. Plus I have some extra dividers there. So you could actually divide your heroes and your villains apart if you'd like. But again, every time a new set comes out, you're eventually going to run out of these because you only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So you're going to run out. But yeah, this is just the duplicates. So, although I said I am running out of room in the box, what I can definitely do is I can always take out all the foil ones, or if I want to keep the foil and use the other ones, whichever you want to do, you can have one box for this and then put all the rest somewhere else, or save it for later. Just kind of have to see what happens. Downside is, there's no place really for Cyclopsis to go, although he will stand up in this box. He's going to sit a little bit above the edge, but I wonder how bad it's going to be if he's on the side. So he's pretty close, so you just might have to worry about him being pushed down a little bit. So that might not be ideal. You might just want to leave him laying on the top. Are there oversized sleeves for this card? There probably are. I'm going to check to see if I have one quick. Now, the other thing I noticed, I don't have any tokens in there. I just want to show that off quick. So, I have one of these containers. I probably showed this in previous videos, but I have this for my tokens. I buy these at Hobby Lobby. I put all my little things in there. I have my multiplayer tokens in here, my first player, second player. I have the Omega tokens. I can pick this up. I have a bunch of these little trays in here. I can drop all my villain layers. I have all my extra little counters, my RPMs, my containment ones, I think they are. The only problem is now that I have 3 of these Zord bays, they're starting to get a little bit tall in this box. to snap in there. So if I get another Zord, I might have to figure out something different for that. A lot of empty space for extra cards, but there's not a lot of tokens for that. But I can definitely, I'll end up adding these guys, so I'll just pop some of these out. Pop those in there. I can find them very quick. Alternatively, I could probably start putting like all of these down in like one of these. They won't stand up, but I could maybe eliminate some of those or lay them in there. There's some different options to do stuff. Let me check on that Cyclopsis card quick, 1 sec. Alright, so we have Cyclopsis sleeve here. So I got a sleeve that's just about perfect for it. So if you want to get one of those, what I used was a measure and mix recipe card protector, a 4x6 sleeve protector. So any 4x6 would work. I have some other games that use bigger sleeves like this occasionally. So this worked really well. Picked up at Hobby Lobby for $3. But yeah, it does. It's not like rigid, so it's not going to keep it from bending or anything, but it'll keep fingerprints, maybe the sides. Not that you really need to necessarily sleeve oversized cards because they just kind of lay there. But it's kind of nice just to help keep them intact. Alright, a little bit longer video, but that is Power Rangers. It's Morphin Time. Definitely an interesting expansion to add some new extra elements. More Zords are always fun, give you more variety to the extra layer and that. But yeah, I think we're pretty much, not that we've ran the well dry on the morphing era, because we haven't done Ninja Rangers yet. There's plenty of other stuff they can get into there. They can do some of the comic book alt characters and things like that. But hopefully they, move into some of the other eras. So far, they're kind of still sticking to the Zordon era, even, for the most part. So it'd be kind of fun if, S.P.D went outside of that. It would be fun if we went to some of the other eras as well. Again, like getting into like Dino Thunder, if you want to kind of connect it back to that. Just some, I guess RPM was outside of it too. But yeah, just some other different stuff would be cool. Alright, see you guys later. Bye.